Greetings, YouTube. I was watching a video the other day. I think it was on Emma Blackery's channel. She's quite entertaining. And she's talking to the audience of teenagers. So it really wasn't aimed at me, and I didn't watch the entire video. But the basic gist of it was that the difficulties that teenagers have, or kids in general have, when dealing with parents that do not understand what it is to be a kid or a teenager. Now, my comment in that was that I am always baffled by a parent's inability to understand what it is to be a teenager. And I say this even though I realize that today is not the past. But every one of those parents was a kid. They were a teenager. They lived through all the things, more or less, what their children are living through. And yet, they seem to be blind to so many of these things. So I have some questions from the people viewing this video, in general, to anyone viewing it, and then some specifics for the parents themselves out there that are watching this. So just the generals first. Do you remember what it was like to be a child? Do you remember being a teenager and everything that entailed, good and bad? To the parents out there, I ask the same questions. Do you as a parent remember what it was to be a child? Do you remember what it was to be a teenager, to want nothing more in the world than to be accepted and tolerated by the people that you view as peers, even though those people aren't necessarily worthy of your attention and your friendship? Maybe those people really weren't your peers. You just thought they were. But do you remember that? That ache, that pain, when they weren't receptive to your overtures of friendship, of camaraderie, of love and affection and attention? Do you remember the driving need to be with someone on an emotional level, on a friendship level, on a sexual level? And if you don't remember these things, how did you forget? That's not hyperbole. That's not, I'm asking some big, broad question that doesn't have an answer. I want to know. If you don't remember, how did you forget? Because I can't. I don't dwell on it anymore. It isn't an ache inside me like it was at one time. I have learned that the past is a book. We can learn from it, but we can never change it. And as part of my anxiety, I tried for decades to rewrite that book, to perfect that book, which of course you can't do. And I've come to understand that, and I've moved past it, but I have never forgotten what happened. Not ever. The good and the bad, the pleasant and the profane. And I'm trying to understand what it is about becoming a parent that seems to make people forget when they weren't parents. Forget what it was like when they were teenagers. And I really want to know.